Hello, Ryan Fritz here with Science of Cardio, talking about moment arms. Big topic is kind of rotational, trunk rotation exercises. Lots of sports have some sort of rotation in them. So I just want to kind of explain it a little bit more. Again, moment arms are the distance from an axis to a load. So how far that is really determines how much torque we have. So this is just doing a band or cable trunk rotation. This is a top view looking down on somebody. So when you start out, there's a huge moment arm at this front position. If you have a perpendicular anchor, okay, as you go through, that anchor gets closer to the axis or center of view, so it actually offloads a little bit. And then as you come back, it ramps up. So it kind of changes as you go through a rotational exercise, depending on where your anchor point is of the resistance or the band or the cable. Okay, so an example, this is hard to convey on a 2D picture. It's much easier if you just hop in and do a couple of different trunk rotations with a band or cable resistance. So starting out at a perpendicular, so this anchor point 2 would be a perpendicular. 24 inches away from the center is your moment arm, or the distance between the axis and the load. Okay, so that's where it's maximal effort or maximal tension. Okay. As you rotate, or if you change the anchor point, again, if my anchor point is here and I'm perpendicular and I rotate, then the anchor point, the angle is going to change, and that distance to my axis point is going to be shorter. Okay, so example would be like a 6-inch moment arm with this anchor set up back here. So 6 inches and then ramping up to 24, so real close to you, and then as you go out, so that changes based off of your foot position, so or the anchor point. Okay, so start position and anchor point. Okay, so examples. Okay, this position, anchor point 1, has a 6-inch moment arm from the axis at that start point. Okay, that is about 60 pounds of torque on your spine and vertebrae. Okay, as you rotate around, that might ramp up to maybe 24 inches of distance. So that goes to 240 pounds of torque. Okay, so that is 4 times the amount of torque in this position as the start position. Okay, and then if we have a different anchor, then it might offload for end range position. Okay, so very, very important food for thought that this torque can ramp up significantly depending on the distance between the axis and the load or stress. So some things to keep in mind is your distance from your axis to your load makes a tremendous change in stress on your joints. Where you anchor or where you start or stop. So if you have an anchor point close to your shoulder, it's going to be really easy, and then it's going to change as you're moving. If it's anchored far away from you, then it might be harder at end range, and it might be easier at beginning range. So I encourage you to challenge yourself and try these things. Do different angles of pulls and change your foot position and just feel which one's harder and easier. Okay, and then, you know, the big thing is this is a constantly changing dynamic environment. You might onload or offload depending on where your anchor point is and how far that is away from your axis point. So hopefully this is helpful. Let me know if you have questions.